You're watching The Agenda. A number of quarantine and preventative measures have been put in place in the Eastern Cape. This follows the spread of an outbreak of foot and mouth disease that was detected 5 days ago on a farm. For more on this, we take you now to our news reporter, Lerato Fekisi, who's in Humansdorp for us. Thank you so much for your time, Lerato. So can you please explain to us what the situation is like so far?
A very good morning to you, Olisi. Well, the recent cases that were picked up in the Eastern Cape brings the total number of FMD in the country to 167. This is across Free State, Eastern Cape, KZN and Mpumalanga, and luckily in Limpopo, Gauteng, also Northwest, the cases has been resolved by the World Health Organization. Now, like you said, quarantine measures have been put in place on a farm in Humansdorp, and must just stress for now, only one farm in the Eastern Cape has been affected by FMD, and this is because of the quarantine measures and the control measures put by the municipality to try and curb the spread of this virus and this disease. But joining me this morning is Anthony Fenter, who is actually the vet who picked up the first cases of FMD here in Humansdorp. Anthony, just first talk about what FMD is, just to first give some clarity to our viewers, to explain what it is and whether human beings or only animals are susceptible to getting this disease.
Okay, thank you, Lerato. The foot and mouth disease virus is extremely contagious. It's the most contagious virus on the planet. So it's very quickly spread between animals. All cloven-hoofed animals can get it. So pigs, sheep, goats, cattle. People do not get the disease, but they can transmit the disease on their feet, on their hands, on their clothes. So that is the huge risk. If a farm is infected and a worker moves from the farm onto another farm, then he can carry the disease with him. And it can travel quite long distances as well. So the concern is that there are other outbreaks in the country, so potentially somebody moving from that area of the country could come to this area and bring the virus with them. So that's the main concern with the virus, is it just spreads extremely fast and it causes production loss.
Anthony, the farm behind us is the farm that has been affected. You said it's just one farm, but you're the one that was able to pick up the disease in these animals. Tell us briefly exactly how that goes about. We're actually able to pick up that this specific farm has been affected.
Okay. The symptoms are very characteristic. The farm manager sent us photographs, and we couldn't believe it because we have never seen foot and mouth disease in this area before. It seems impossible. We know the outbreaks are really far away from us, so initially our thoughts were this can't be happening. But we immediately took samples and sent them off to the OBI. Because the lesions looked so characteristic, the farm was quarantined immediately, and the next day, within 18 hours, we had confirmation that it was in fact foot and mouth. What we also did is we put out a warning to the farmers the same day that we suspected it, to ensure that their gates were locked and that they apply good biosecurity. So it's just at this stage we only know of the one farm, and it's been contained to this one farm.
Then lastly, Anthony, obviously a farmer across the country, like you're saying, it's all across the country now, that's trying to find out, is their cow affected by this? What kind of symptoms can a farmer pick up to dictate that it actually is FMD?
Yeah, the first symptoms they will see is a drop in milk production, and they also will notice that the cows tend to stretch their necks out and salivate a lot. And then if they then look in the mouths, they'll find ulcers in the mouth and on their feet as well. So that's the first sign really, is a drop in milk, usually a large group of cows, 20 to 30, and then you'll find the lesions in the mouth. That's what to look for.
And then lastly, these cows obviously, like you said, don't die. Within 2 or 3 weeks they are said to recover once it's been detected.
Sorry, I missed that last one.
Yeah, so I'm saying, obviously, with these cows, you said earlier on, they don't actually die, but they actually do recover, but it takes some time. Yes. But the milk production is a huge concern, especially in a farming area like this.
Correct. The milk production is lost, and obviously the cows infect one another as well, so it spreads through the herd quite quickly. So it is a disease that causes production loss, but the main concern is spread to other farming areas. That's the main concern with this disease. We want to just maintain it on one farm and prevent spread to other farms.
Maintaining it on one farm is what is the hugest concern now for the vets and the people here, the farmers here in Humansdorp. I'm joined now by Christopher Fenter, who's actually the Municipal Manager for Environmental Affairs. Just in terms of safety measures, I see that there's a stop and go that you guys have implemented as well. What other measures have the municipality done to try and ensure that you help vets and the farmers here in this area?
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, we actually called the emergency meeting with all the role players, from the police, from the public representatives and also from the community, so that we can inform them on time of this is what is happening, so that they don't hear stories. So that is important for us from the municipality side to actually get the message out there, because we've also got a lot of emerging farmers that their cows and that are actually just roaming around, so they need to also know what is going to happen to their cows and that they need to contain them in a specific area. But also then for us is to immediately put up the signage, so when anyone drives past that, they actually will know that this is what is happening, and we are just putting in measures to actually contain it. So we also have set up a joint operating committee that we will be meeting every day just to see how we can assist and just spread the word to everyone to see, okay, this is what is happening, this is what will be the effects in that, because we are very concerned because of the dairy industry that is so important to us in the area, that we actually all play together and actually support what is currently happening.
Thank you so much. Well, that was the municipality's Krista Fenter and also Anthony Davis, who's a vet from this area, speaking about the control measures they've put in place to ensure that the FMD disease doesn't spread here in Humansdorp, and saying what's key now is to put all hands on deck to ensure that law enforcement, that people that are coming into the city, that the farmers, everyone literally comes together to ensure that this disease doesn't spread more in the area of Humansdorp. But the vets saying so far they are confident that they've done all they could possibly do to try and contain the spread of the virus, but saying obviously that prevention is obviously better than cure. But for now, let's go back to in studio.
Lerato Fekisi is our report on that story. Thanks very much indeed for bringing us some of those conversations there on the ground.